I think you're not here just tonight to listen to us. You're not here just tonight to be bored by the speeches and whatever. We would like to have an interaction. The whole purpose of tonight's gathering is this, to interact. So I think we need to change the mood and have some interaction.
I think you're absolutely right. So on that note, I would like to invite on stage respected members of the SLT to join us for a Q&A session.
Right. I would like to actually request the acting Chief Inspector, James Weston, to please come on stage. And also like to request Croydon Neighbourhood Superintendent Mitch Carr to please come to the stage, please. I'm sure there are a lot of people out here in the room who have, especially the community, would like to actually ask you some questions. And I would like you to be as short as you can, rather than, because obviously this is not an interactive of that kind where we need to have a dialogue and have questions firing up. First questions from the public, from the community. Is there anybody out there who would like to ask a question to our two officers over here?
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm not going to give you a tough time as we're sitting on the same table. And I don't fancy having my tyres checked on the way out. But my name's Tony Litt. I'm the Managing Director of Sunrise Radio, so we serve the British Asian community. So my question is to do with the British Asian community. How many police officers are there in the Met, and what percentage of those police officers are from the British Asian community?
Yeah, so in regards to numbers of officers from the South Asian community, I don't have that number, unfortunately. I don't know if anyone from our outreach teams has that at all to hand. Oh, perfect.
Sorry.
Thank you so much.
That's 1,752 police officers and 5.9%.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're still working on it. Yeah.
Excellent.
Hello, good evening, and thank you for this wonderful event. My name is Iram, and I work with the South Asian community. My role is basically to empower women. You can make it up from the table up here. Are there actually any initiatives that the government is, or the Met Police is doing in a way to engage the community? Like sitting out here, I thought this was an interactive session, but let's see. So that's my question. Thank you.
One of the biggest things, and why we're here today, it is all about diversifying, and it's that inclusivity. I can talk for Croydon, because I'm a Croydon officer. I'm part of the Safe Neighbourhood team here, and quite a lot of the community engagement that we do it hasn't been always with the South Asian community as much. You know, we have a lot of challenges in Croydon around knife violence, knife crime, serious youth violence. So a lot of our engagement and enforcement and work are with some of the other communities that are more heavily affected by those crimes. But what we have found is that, the South Asian community is a really big community, not just in Croydon, but in London in general. And we can be doing a lot more in engaging. So it's about making sure that our safer neighbourhood teams are out there engaging in the spaces where the community are. I think what we've learned is that we can't always expect people to come to us, come to meetings that we're holding, come to the police station. We need to be out there, going to those locations where the communities meet, and making sure that we're interacting and integrating in those communities and in those meetings. So it's about engaging with our religious establishments, with the schools, with the young people, with the elderly. There's lots of different initiatives that are going on, and it's about including everyone, so that inclusivity bit. But as you've got here today, we've got our outreach teams, we've got the recruitment teams, and we really want to become more of an inclusive Metropolitan Police Service. So it is making sure that a lot of our recruitments are from some of our other communities in London, and making sure that we're getting that representation so that we can, the Met can continue to grow in the way that we want it to.
Officer, if I may actually ask and take the opportunity to first of all ask you if you can explain to the audience what this initiative, the New Met for London is. So I think they'll get some idea, and then we'll throw a few more questions out there to the floor as well, if you don't mind.
Oh, I also have a question. What qualifications or experience do you need Over here.
Sorry.
Hi. Do you need to be a police officer? Because obviously that is the first step for anyone wanting to perhaps think about a career in the police force.
Yeah, okay, so I'll answer that last bit just first because it's easier. So essentially, the real answer to this is you have to be at least 18 and you have to not have a criminal record. With some exceptions. It's not to say that if you've never, you've had some involvement with the police in the past, you're barred. That's not the case. Because actually there's some people with a lot of lived experience that can bring things to us. But obviously if you're an active criminal, that is a bit of an issue. But that sounds like a bit of a flippant answer, but that's the truth. We want people from all walks of life, all different backgrounds, experiences, because that will help us deliver a better service. Really, it's about the values that people bring. It's about what they come to us with. Do they have that integrity? Do they have that compassion? Do they have that drive to help other people? That's what we're looking for. New Met for London plan is obviously the Commissioner's plan, which is a 2-year plan, to do 3 things. It's to have less crime, it's to have more trust, and it's to have higher standards. There's some elements of that. So we've got community crime fighting. So we've got in that neighbourhood policing, strong neighbourhood policing, making sure you've got a local service, making sure that people can give input as to what they want their local priorities to be, because not every community in London is the same. All different parts of London made up very differently, different priorities, different crime issues, so we can't have one plan that just covers the whole of London. It's about the local team delivering on the local priorities, because that's what this is all about. It's about policing by consent and working with communities, working in partnership with communities to deliver what's important to you. More trust. We know that recent events. There have been some recent events which has knocked the trust of Londoners in the Met. We've had some people in the Met who have done some things they really shouldn't have done, and some terrible things. What we also know is we've got some really good people, and the vast majority are really good, and their good work has been overshadowed by those people. So this is about us making sure that our high standards are upheld, that everyone who works for the Met knows exactly what's expected of them, and ultimately that we've got processes in place that if they can't uphold those standards, then they should leave us, and they should leave us very quickly, and that's part of what this is, the more trust and higher standards is all about. We've got obviously some London priorities as well, which feature in the New Met for London plan. So just a couple of those very key things. So violence against women and girls, a really key part of our work at the moment, making sure we've got safer spaces for women, girls and children across London, targeting some of the highest harm perpetrators and offenders, and making sure that we are really offering reassurance to people and making sure they can feel safe to go out into London and be in the community. And obviously the other thing that we're looking at across London at the moment is violence, and violence isn't just about knife crime, it's not just about gangs, it's about violence to retail, business crime, it's about violence to people's homes, which is burglary, it's about violence to society in general, such as terrorism, it's about the whole piece with violence, and that is the top priority for the Met in terms of crime. But like I say, each community needs to decide those local priorities as well, which the local teams will be working on.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind of you. I think there's a mic over there.
Hi, good evening and assalamu alaikum. My name is Zain Abbas and I'm one of the TV presenter on Islam channel. I also run daycare nurseries, so I'm an entrepreneur in education sector. So my question is about Metropolitan Police. Obviously, it's one of the best force in the world, but there's still a trust deficit, especially in terms of diversity. So what work you're doing in terms of raising awareness, in terms of the great work force is doing and encouraging people to join the force, especially people from different ethnic backgrounds?
We often find, and one of our biggest challenges here in Croydon, but across Met and policing, is communicating the good work that's going on. We often, I think, naturally hear about the bad things that have happened in London, the terrible crimes that have happened, but actually there's lots of good things, lots of good community work, lots of good work going on, by the police. And part of our job, and we are really trying to be better at this, but we're not by trade media or communication professionals. That's why we have to try and get some people that really know what they're talking about in that sense to help us with that. Because I think it's really important to spread the message. that's why we come to events like this, of course, to meet new people and hopefully share some of good work, get new ideas, get feedback. It's all part of, obviously, like you say, encouraging people from all different backgrounds to join the Met. We've got some officers here from various support staff associations, at trailblazers, role models, and that's really important. Role models is so important. I think people looking inwards at the Met might have concerns about joining this organisation, obviously things they might have heard from friends, family, the media, etc. So it's really important that they can see people who perhaps they can feel some affinity with through background, through coming from different religions, genders, etc. And hopefully that sort of role modelling will encourage more people to join and make us more diverse, because we know that a key part of our legitimacy and being a legitimate police force is being representative of London. And
I was going to say on top of that as well, and it's part of obviously the new Met for London as well, and about that, I suppose, professionalism and the trust, and it's having internally with officers is to make sure that when we do have, people from different diverse backgrounds coming in, we're supporting them in the workplace. So we're having listening circles, we're having one-to-one meetings with them to make sure that if there is issues around misogyny, racism, homophobia, anything like that at all, we're listening and then we're actually acting on it, so that people feel that they can come forward, they can come and talk to us as their line managers, they can talk to their colleagues, that toxic cultures within different teams are ruled out, and actually people feel inclusive in their teams and the work they're doing, and actually really feel proud and want to come in. And I think that's something that we've really looked at over the last couple of years, and we're really pushing forward now, which I hopefully will mean that people that are from different cultures, different backgrounds, do feel that the Metropolitan Police is a really good employer and will support them.
Alderman Mushtaq Lashari CB from Kensington, Chelsea. I've met already to you. I think, you said local policing and then diversity. Do you think your work has been affected by closing the police stations? And second thing, last few years, austerity. Do you think it has affected your number of police officers who are now working? You said 30. I think the London population is increasing, while police number is decreasing. Do you think it is linked with the rise of the crime?
Thank you.
Thank you. So the Commissioner's been quite public about sort of our estate strategy, and he agrees that in recent years the closure of local police bases and police stations has affected local policing. That is part of the new Met for London plan, so it's under a section called Fixing the Foundations, which is essentially giving the officers the kit, the equipment, the support, and setting them up to succeed. So he has said that he wants every local neighbourhood team to be within a 20-minute walk of their base. So at the moment here in Croydon, we've got a very big geographic borough. We've got some neighbourhood teams that are based a lot further than 20 minutes. So we've got an accommodation strategy going on to try and get new bases, because it's really important that the officers are locally based so they can provide the best service. I think, that you're right, the population of London is going up. We're a couple of years off being around 10 million. We are trying to recruit, and that's one of the reasons this event is so important, because at the moment we have, in the last couple of years, been trying to recruit quite heavily. We've had some good funding, we've been trying to recruit, and the last few months, again, the Commissioner has been quite public about this, we're struggling to get the numbers in that we need to maintain our numbers and grow the organisation. So that's why it's important that we can all come out and we can speak positively about our careers and our organisation, try and encourage more people in, because we need to be bigger to be ready for the challenges of the next few years in London.
Thank you, officer. The last question, if I may, please.
Good evening. I'm Bushra Nasser, CBE, DL. I wanted to ask you about not just recruitment, but actually promotion within the police force, the Met. Because obviously women, 50% of London population is women. Over half now is ethnic minorities. How is the leadership, representative of women and secondly, the BAME communities, because people can't be what they can't see, and it's actually the leaders that make the decisions. I agree with you on recruitment. Yes, we need to get those numbers there, but we need to get the numbers at higher up where the decisions are made. So decisions about women are made with women in the room in those leadership positions.
Thank you. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, you know, this is something that is really being pushed in, you know, in the organisation. You know, so we have, it's really, a lot of it is down to managers and the senior leaders on each borough and each command, is to identify talent is one of the things, because what we want to do, it's not just tokenism of, you know, promoting and you know, bringing people into the roles just for diversity, etc. However, you know, we also want to make sure that we're getting the right people in those roles. So there's a lot of positive mentoring, lots of positive mentoring, a lot of support from you know, from the chief superintendents on boroughs to make sure that actually when there are roles available that we get that proper training as well, so that our officers from our diverse backgrounds are given, you know, the same chance as they are with the non-diverse officers, I suppose, whereas maybe at times before they didn't have those opportunities. And it's about making sure opportunities are fair, they are inclusive, and also, you know, it's like with me, if I have, you know, I'm in charge of neighbourhoods in Croydon, you know, and I want to make sure that my officers are diverse. You know, I want to make sure that I have female leaders, female sergeants, female inspectors, so that, you know, people can, like you said, can actually identify. And also it changes cultures on teams as well. Because if, you know, you have all male teams, or you have all male white teams, or something like that of officers, you know, that's where you could end up with, you know, toxic cultures or certain ways that we police. And, you know, by bringing in people from different diverse backgrounds, it spreads that cultural awareness. It allows, you know, people to actually be a bit more mindful about what they're talking about. And also for our leaders and also for our officers to challenge, you know, remarks that might cause offence. So I think all that is really working well and really being pushed through in the Met. And I've been in the Met for 25 years now, and I've seen tremendous change. And I think one of the greatest things that's happened with the Met is that female inclusiveness. You know, from when I joined to where we are now, we've got really great representation, and I've seen how that has changed the Met. And I look forward to how the different diverse cultures that are coming in are changing the Met as well. So, yeah, and it's important for our officers when they recruited is that we actually give them that training so they're getting that cultural awareness. Because, you know, there's a lot of officers that are coming in who haven't actually policed or lived it with other cultures, and they need to go in and police you all really well, understand what, you know, what different lifestyles are, etc., religions, so there's that understanding. And I think really that's rippling through the Met, and I really see positive change coming from it.
Lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for the two officers, please. Thank you very much, sir.